Several months, our intelligence service, in collaboration with those of the Alliance of Sahel States, follow closely a vast network of destabilization orchestrated outside. An internal ramification threatens our national security. We wish to expose facts that illustrate the magnitude of this maneuver, as well as the actions taken to face it. It is brought to the attention of Burkinabe public and the international community that individuals resident in the Republic of Ivory Coast have been active in a subversion against our country. This act of chaos, supported by some Western powers' intelligence services, as well as civilians of various profiles, like military personnel and former military personnel, who left the national territory to participate in propaganda and destabilization operations. Thanks to constant monitoring of their activities, we were able to foil several attempts of destabilization. In the face of these repeated failures, these lawless individuals have opted for a plan. This plan consists, on one hand, to sign a contract with terrorist groups called the Centra, and on the other hand, to give them specific training in the Center S area to take objectives which were recorded in their contract. He should first conduct violent actions against innocent civilians, and the second, to attack not only institutions of the Republic, but other several sensitive points. The first attack of this operation was that of Basalogo on Saturday, August 24, 2024, which consists of massacring as many people as possible to create disarray and chaos within the populations, and thereby shaking the entire nation, thus facilitating the execution of the main action plan. The plans consist of infiltration of several terrorist groups. The first group responsible for carrying out the main action plan from August 29, 2024 was composed of 150 terrorists who came from S Center heading towards Sapri area, then go up to Ouagadougou with a view to take the presidential palace in Koulouba. The second group should attack the military drone base to prevent any response from our forces. The third group should come from the Ivorian territory with the objective to carry out attacks in the area of Magodara to disperse our forces. Other groups should target the airport to block any external reinforcement, notably the post of all military aircraft. During this investigation, our intelligence service have been alerted to the arrest of two suspicious individuals without identification papers at a checkpoint at the entrance to the city of Niamey on August 29, 2024. After a rigorous interrogation, they revealed to be accompanied by a certain Akushi, who had already passed the 10 control posts. The latter was arrested the next day on August 30, 2024, at the Remo station in Niamey, while he was trying to escape. Identification checks turned out that the so-called Akushi is nothing but Commander Hamed Kinda, the previous chief of Special Force, supposedly to be on internship in Morocco. He revealed himself to be the head of operations of all these attacks sadly planned. The two suspicious individuals turned out to actually be two terrorist leaders named Usman Abdullahi and Amadou Idrissa. All these arrests have opened a large part of the conspiracy, and to better understand the maneuvers aimed at destabilizing our nation. They were transferred later in Burkina Faso. A special anti-terrorism operation has since been immediately launched in connection with the first destabilization project. The first investigation revealed that this plot was orchestrated by Burkinabe nationals resident abroad. So, Mr. Aziz Diallo, former mayor and deputy of Douri, currently working in Central Africa Republic on behalf of an international organization. He is one of the brain alleged to be part of this conspiracy under the codename Ahmed de Sancho. He is in contact with Islamic State terrorist groups in the Sahara through one of his uncles who settled in the city of Douri. 2. Mr. Usman Mumuni Runi Diallo, uncle of Mr. Aziz Diallo, former UGS fighter, former negotiation coordinator with the terrorist groups under the former president, Damiba. 3. Mr. Aziz Dabo, ex-agent of National Intelligence Agency on the run, known under the codename Yone. 4. Mr. Abdullahi Bari, known under the codename The Traveler. He is the link between the Western powers, terrorists, and part of the military. 5th, a certain Serge Matoueng, a Nigerian journalist of Ivorian origin, representing The Traveler in Niger. He hosted Commander Ahmed Kinda the night of August 29, 2024, which permits him to escape, and should have also facilitated the infiltration of all the commando in eastern Burkina Faso. Mr. Abdoulaye Bari had asked him to keep 4 satellite telephones of Touraya Mark intended for further operations. 6. Mr. Djibril Yipener Basole, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Burkina Faso. 7. Mr. Newton Hamed Bari, former President of Sine. 8. Mr. Alpha Bari, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Burkina Faso. 9. Commander François Zougana, alias Caesar. 10. Commander Heman Zongo, who informed the position of air vectors and army movement. 11. Commander Joani Humpawe, former General Manager of Sonabe, who was doing research for kamikaze drones. 12. Colonel Zala, working at the United Nations in Central African Republic. 13. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandagor Damiba, aka the Patriarch, who leads the military side of this plot. 14. Lieutenant Colonel Deomio Wuba, aka Rodriguez, who is the head of the Operation Center in Accra. 15. Several other officers outside the country on which the investigation continues. This destabilization plan, in collaboration with accomplices inside the country, carry out massive disinformation actions and use occultic practices to serve confusion and division. Several witch doctors was consulted by Mr. Abdoulaye Bari, aka the Traveler, who got help from Chief Sergeant Tendano alias Taylor, former Special Force element, who will be arrested later by our intelligence service. The latter gave information to the enemy and was in charge of recruiting elements for the destabilization operation. He also contacted his father, a well-known witch doctor in the area of Bugande, so that he works for the terrorist infiltration to go smoothly. Following the arrest of Commander Ahmed Kinda alias Akushi and the 2 terrorist leaders, it has been agreed initially not to disclose information to enable our service to discover all their networks. External interception communication revealed the involvement of several economic operators in the plot. The recording of this information will be broadcast soon to the public in the coming days. Other civil society leaders participating in exchanges via a WhatsApp group called IB Get Out was vastly implicated in this network. Most part of their meetings were being carried out in Ghana in the Ashimota neighborhood at GD Lodge Hotel in Accra. Some other meetings were conducted at Tamale in the presence of Mr. Abdoulaye Bari alias the Traveler and Lieutenant Colonel D. Romeo Wuba aka Rodriguez. In a second thought, it was agreed that Commander Hamed Kinda, alias Akushi, Chief Sergeant Tendano, aka Telo, and the two terrorist leaders, accompanied by one of our teams, shows the storage site of their equipment and various materials placed under the care of terrorists at the Commander Hall, located not far from the town of Tenkodogo. Once in place, they tried to escape, but exchanges of shots followed, during which they were neutralized with several other terrorists. Other destabilization, far from abandoning their fatal networks, have decided to refine a new plan during a meeting which should normally be held in Nigeria on September 27, 2024. It will be their time to recruit new terrorists and attempt to recruit 500 mercenaries from a European country to attack on a large scale in Ouagadougou, aimed at saving terror. Still, in their anticipation, they have decided to kill everyone who would oppose their action by doing reference to the population in cases where they revolt. Thus, to preserve their families and their loved ones from all population reprisals against them, they have decided that each of them would remove his family and loved one before the start of their operation. Thanks to this information collected, we were able to identify the participants expected at this upcoming meeting, coordinated in Nigeria, among which they will figure it out. 1. Commander Hamed Kida, aka Akushi. 2. Mr. Abdullahi Bari, aka The Traveler. 3. The former Assistant Deputy General Director of ANR, Registrar of National Armed Force, Mr. Widrago Seko. Lieutenant Colonel Deomio Wuba, alias Rodriguez, as well as people from this border country, Nigeria, which are involved in this sinister network. Everything should have been done in accordance with Mr. Jibril Yepene Basole and some element of Western intelligence services. Proof of this information revealed the seriousness of this extreme act. It was decided to maintain special operations in order to neutralize any person who would try to sow chaos in our country. Firm instructions have been given to the Burkinabe Intelligence Service, together with all cases initially brought to court in order to resume hearing. On the sides of families and relatives of these terrorists, they have been advised to denounce them and to dissuade from continuing on this destructive path, and to get rid of any former subversive action. Regarding the families and close ones of these terrorists, they have been advised to report them, to dissuade from continuing on this destructive path, and to get rid of any former subversive action. The break is over. I repeat, the break is over. Africa, wake up. Africa, rise up. Africa without borders. Africa, continental free trade area. The time is now. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.